Kemi Badenoch's new-look shadow cabinet is already stirring up waves, with Robert Jenrick, the recent rival in the leadership contest, appointed as Shadow Justice Secretary, not even Home Secretary. This, and he's taken it. He's taken it. This reshuffle, just days after Badenoch's leadership victory round and drinks, reflects a calculated move to unify a fractured Conservative party. It's called the Unity Shadow Cabinet. I always thought Unity was some sort of underwear. It's a clothing firm, isn't it? Unity. It's a vintage clothing firm, or is it some sort of loo? I can't remember. Anyway, Badenoch has. Let me think of it as some sort of porcelain, like Armitage shanks. And Badenoch has strategically drawn in her former leadership contenders, such as Priti Patel as Shadow Foreign Secretary, Mel Stride as Shadow Chancellor, creating a coalition of both her allies and her recent opponents, labelled this Unity Shadow Cabinet. It signals an attempt to present a consolidated front. You can imagine it now, can't you? Consolidated front and gusset as the Tories confront mounting criticisms, particularly following the recent budget, lifts and separates. Patel's return is particularly eye-catching. As a staunch Brexiteer, one flush and you go. I'm sorry. Is it some sort of porcelain? I can't remember. But anyway, there we are. It suits my fantasy that you could find Unity lavatories. It might indeed be a Russian brand. Anyway, as a staunch Brexiteer with a history of controversy, Priti Patel's appointment demonstrates Badenoch's willingness to embrace ideological diversity while also courting potential backlash. Her past missteps, like the unauthorized meetings in Israel, leading to her 2017 dismissal, cast a long shadow. Yet Badenoch has evidently judged the benefits of a hardline foreign policy voice like Patel to outweigh any lingering reputational risks. This reshuffle is also set against Labour's renewed educational policy, the tuition fee increase to £9,535. The timing is notable. Badenoch's ally, Laura Trott, has assumed the shadow education portfolio, just as Bridget Phillipson's fee rise proposal opens Labour to criticism of neglecting students' financial burdens. Trott's rapid response could place the Tories on the offensive, appealing to students and families apprehensive about escalating education costs. Further complicating matters, Jenrick supporter Neil O'Brien's appointment as Shadow Minister for Education hints at emerging Conservative educational counter-narratives focused on accountability and efficiency. Badenoch's tactic of blending ideological breadth with steadfast allies suggests she intends a decisive, policy-focused challenge to Starmer's Labour. Budget fallout looms large over this reshuffle, the introduction of the so-called tractor tax and rising national insurance burdens for farmers has already provoked a sharp backlash, with protests looming and the national farmers bracing for confrontation and converging on Trafalgar Square again in their tractors. Badenoch's reshuffled team will need to deftly navigate these fiscal grievances, positioning themselves as advocates for those disillusioned by Labour's recent budget priorities. So Badenoch's shadow cabinet stands as a balancing act, embracing both allies and former rivals in a unified face, while targeting Labour's vulnerabilities in education and budget policy. Yet the success of this approach depends on whether Badenoch's team can move beyond symbolic unity and deliver an incisive challenge on policy grounds, both in Parliament and with the public. And I'm not so sure that under Badenoch's leadership this is possible. But let's see.